Are you looking for a sturdier, safer footwell for your Honda Rubicon? Maybe you want to run a little bit larger tire? Well, SuperATV's got you covered with our Honda Rubicon footwells, and today we're going to show you how to get them installed. What's up guys, I'm Braden Adams. Welcome back to my garage, and today we're gonna be showing you how to install SuperATV's Honda Rubicon footwells. A few things I wanna talk to you about on these footwells before we get them installed. These things are made of 1/8" steel. You're not gonna break them, you're not gonna run a log through them, a stick, and you're definitely not gonna fold them up like you would a factory footwell. Also, if you're looking to run a larger tire, you can run up to a 28" tire with these footwells. Here's the tool list, and let's get to it. So the first thing you're gonna do is come over to your machine and go ahead and remove the seat. Just grab a hold of the latch on the back side. Seat pops up, go ahead and set it aside. Then come right here, grab a hold of the plastic that surrounds the tank, pull straight back and lift up. You wanna get it over the brake, just like so, and then go to the opposite side and do the same thing, and then we'll go ahead and remove the plastic that goes around the machine. So now we're gonna remove the factory footwells. We're gonna start right here. This is gonna be a 5mm Allen with a 10mm wrench on the backside. Same thing right here. Then we're gonna have push pins in these 3 locations, as well as these 3 on the front side. What I like to do with this, I like to take a flathead and get the push pin started, then I have my push pin puller tool. Grab it and then remove it. And you can kind of help it from the back side as well. That way you're not pulling your push pins apart. Now we're going to take a 10mm socket and go ahead and remove the factory foot peg. Now go ahead and remove the 2 front push pins. These are gonna be tucked up underneath of the fender. One's gonna be at the very top, and then the other one's gonna be down here on the very bottom. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove the factory footwell. Just grab it, pull it down and away from the inner fender on this side. As you rotate it around, and it comes off in one big chunk. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove the step bracket. So you're gonna have 2 12mm bolts right here, and then 1 up front. So we're gonna take a 12mm socket, 12mm wrench, and go ahead and remove the hardware. Go ahead and remove the nuts there, and then I'm gonna go up front and go ahead and remove my bolt. I'm gonna leave these bolts halfway in, just so it doesn't make it harder to get that bolt out. Now we're gonna take the bottom footwell bracket and install it to the same location that we removed the factory bracket from. I'm gonna line it up, slid into position, and then we're gonna utilize the factory hardware for this. And we're just gonna go ahead and snug. We're not gonna fully tighten the hardware. All right, so for this next step, you're gonna have to cut your factory footwell. No big deal. As you can see, ours is already cut. So how do we get it to this point? Very simple. As you can see here, there's a yellow line tracing where you need to cut. All you're gonna wanna do is take a paint marker and follow the center contour of this bend all the way down to this hole. So you can see there's a hole there for where the push pin goes in, and then you're just gonna cut it off right at that point. Pro tip for you, something that I've always done and it works better than anything that I've ever tried: to cut plastic, get a sharp blade, heat it up with some sort of gas. I have MAP gas here. You can use propane, whatever you got, doesn't matter. Heat it up till it's cherry red and it cuts through plastic like butter. So now what we're gonna do is take our piece that's cut and go and install it on our machine. Now we're going to install the rear portion of the footwell utilizing the M6 by 16 millimeter Allen headed hardware with our M6 nylock nuts. You're going to need 6 of them right off the bat for the bottom. So now what we're going to do after we have the lower hardware installed, we're going to grab our M6 by 20 millimeter Allen headed bolts as well as our M6 nylock nuts and our spacers. So these spacers, the way that's going to work, you're going to have your bolt that's going to go through the footwell. Then on the other side of the footwell is going to be the spacer, then the plastic, then on the other side of the plastic is going to be your nylock nut. Right here in this corner, you're going to utilize your stock hardware from that position on your factory footwell, just like so. Now we're going to install the same hardware that we used on the lower rear panel as we're going to use on the front panel here. So we're going to be lining these holes up with the lower section and installing our M6 by 16 millimeter Allen. Now, same thing on the front. We're going to be using our spacers. The orientation is going to be exactly the same as it was on the rear. Put your hardware through, then the spacer, line up the hardware with the plastic. Then the same thing on this front corner. We're going to utilize the factory hardware. Now we're going to grab the inner piece. It's going to line up just like so. We're going to use 4 of the M6 by 16 millimeter Allen heads and M6 nylock nuts. Now we're going to grab the right bracket and install it to the top left portion of the right side footwell. Now we're going to grab the right side foot peg and install it using the M6 by 16 millimeter hardware. All right guys, so now what you're going to do is go ahead, reinstall the plastic around your tank, your seat, fully tighten all the hardware. Once you've done that, that's all there is to it to install SuperATV's heavy-duty footwells on this Honda Rubicon. Be sure to check the description below to pick yours up today, and while you're there, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.